Hi Edward, good afternoon. I have prepared this video in order to know in advance what are the topics that I would like to discuss with you and perhaps gain a bit of time trying to find a possible solution or trying to discuss directly the possible solutions that I can apply for resolving these issues. So basically, I will explain you. The first topic is display passenger waiting time in label or charts. So the last time that you sent me your file, I will show you. This is the file in which you explain me how can I calculate the passenger waiting time. Absolutely, I understood it, but the question is like, I have created. Sorry, this is not the file. Excuse me. This is a file. So I create the same logic that you explained me before through these processes, right? Those are attached for this output source 1, as you can see here. Output source 1 enter, output source 1 exit as part of add-on process triggers. But I am trying to collect the statistic associated with the result that is basically calculated here, right? So basically I just create a label. Well, in this case I would like to display the results of that formula in this label. So for example, here I create this label attached to the model at all, not a specific object, as you can see, and then I just replace the values of model entity dot vehicle arrive minus model entity dot begin to wait. So basically that's the formula that you explained me before. But when I am trying to run the simulation, suddenly this issue appears. I have been trying to find the property or the instance in order to display directly the results, but sincerely this is the first time that I am trying to display a formula that I have developed through processes and displaying through labels or charts. So this is basically my question: how can you display the result that you have obtained through the add-on process trigger in charts or labels, as you can see here? Well, let's now we will talk about the second topic, determine bus dwell time. So in addition, I need to calculate in my model the bus dwell time. In other words, it's like when a vehicle arrives. When a vehicle arrives through these nodes, right? Basically, the dwell time is like the difference between the time in which the number of passengers begin to board the bus and the number of not the number of passengers, sorry Edward, the time in which the passenger have spent for boarding the bus minus or plus, the time that the passengers have spent for alighting the bus. Basically in this moment it is showing that the bus has alight some passengers and load some passengers, and in that specific, in the other situation is like the passengers have boarded the bus. So basically I have been trying to analyze what is the possible calculation for resolving this issue. This is basically the logic I am trying to explain in that through processes, or apply to through processes. So for example, this part is time bus and park minus time bus park. This is basically the formula that I need to create in the transfer node, right? As you can see here, minus the time spent when the bus unpark, minus the time of the bus park in the input basing node. So as you can remember, this is the output transfer node. Oh my god. This is the output transfer node and this is the input basing node. So I need to calculate the dwell time. In other words, it's like the time that I spend parking and unparking in this node plus the time that the vehicle spend parking and unparking in this node. As you can see here, in this moment, well, automatically through this node, all the passengers that are being generated by the sources are aligned in the bus, and then there are some passengers that board the bus as well. So this is my other question. I would like to know what is the logic in which the logic that I should apply in order to determine this bus dwell time. The other issue is about retain entities in processing station until a vehicle has arrived. So let me explain you through this example. So as you can see, for example, in this case, the entities, let me just, okay. In this example, the entities are entering directly through the server. But I would like to know how can I make that all the entities that are appearing here in the queuing station, right, of the server should wait until the vehicle has arrived to this output buffer station. In other words, it's like when the vehicle arrives to this output buffer, automatically all the entities that are waiting in the server should be transferred to that output buffer, right? This will help me a lot because I would like to measure the capacity of each one of the stations, but if I transfer all the entities directly to the transfer node here, basically the output of the server, I won't be able to determine at that specific moment what is the capacity that I have fixed per each one of the stations. So that's the other question that I would like to know. Sorry about that. If it's possible to make that the entities should wait in this processing queue station until the vehicle has arrived to this specific transfer node. The other question that I have is associated with determine red effective time based on bus dwell time. Well, let me explain you a little bit in which what I am trying to say about the red effective time. In this model, I have been trying to model as well traffic lights. So let me just perform a 3D visualization. So as you can see, this is, well, essentially my BRT network. Let me just put walk a little bit. So as you can see, those are the traffic lights, right? So when you run the model, we can run the model now, automatically the model begins with red light, right? So, well, they have a fixed duration. This traffic light is like a resource object in the model. So when the bus reach the end of this link, right? Essentially, the vehicle should follow the logic or the duration of this traffic light. So in this specific example, the green effective time of this traffic light is 1 minute, but you will realize now that automatically the green light will change to red light, right? The problem, well, let me just explain you a little bit about the process that I have created for that. This is basically the traffic light logic. So when okay, let me explain you something first. Let me change into the unfortunately my computer is terrible. Okay, so well, oh my god, sorry about that. Okay, so basically this path connect two stations, right? This is the lane that connect the first station and the second station. So at the end of this path there is a specific add-on process trigger called reach n, and in that specific trigger I have created this process, evaluate traffic light state. So automatically it is trying to say that if in this step, if the traffic light is in red color, right, so automatically all the objects that are moving through that lane, that specific link or path, should wait according to the time that is fixed here. So for example, in this is basically the traffic system that is modeled for this traffic light. So first of all, for example, this is assign SMB is basically trying to set up the green light. This is the event in which I am trying to fire or launch the green light. This is essentially the duration of the green time, so I have fixed by 1 minute. This step is like changing to red light, right, when this time is approaching the end of its duration. And basically this is a time in which the red effective time is fixed currently, and automatically this is a loop, right, as you can see. But the problem that I have is like imagine that though this path is the birth of the bus stop, I am trying to establish that according to the bus due time that I have created, hopefully in this step, I would like that this time of this bus due time should be the new red effective time. And the reason is because I need to model like the situation in which if there is no vehicle waiting here in this lane, right, so if the initial in the traveler, in this case there is no vehicle through this lane, automatically the traffic light should be in green. But if there is a vehicle performing boarding and alighting operations, the traffic light should be at that moment be in red color. When the vehicle leaves this station, automatically the traffic light should be in green color. But if I run the model according to the current logic, basically if there is no vehicle here, it doesn't matter for the traffic light. The traffic light will put red, but it doesn't make sense at all, because if there is no vehicle here, automatically the vehicle should enter in the station. And well, that's basically the logic that I need to apply for resolving this issue. Finally, I would like to determine the in-vehicle time of the passengers based on the statistics associated with vehicle ride station. Uh, According to my knowledge, basically the number of passengers that are waiting here spend a time in which the vehicle is trying to move from one station to another. I think that this is basically the logic or the formula that I should use for obtaining that measure. So, well, this is the right station, so the entities that are boarding the bus are allocated here, and basically this right station has a contents property, right, and a specific statistic, so this is average time waiting. I have fixed like a math round. This is an expression in which I need just to round the value with 2 decimals, just that. But when I run the model, so you can see that, well, in this case it's fine because the vehicle in the right station of the vehicle, there is no passengers waiting there. But when the vehicle arrives to this output buffer, those entities, for example, as you can see now, they are spending time waiting for their arrival. But as you can see, there is no value expressed here in this label. So this is finally my last question, my last issue. You can see now that there is now a waiting time expressed here, but I don't know exactly which kind of waiting time or which kind of time is expressed here. So that's why I am looking for an expression in which I should calculate what is the time spent by the travelers in the right station throughout the different stations that I can create, that I will be able to create. So for example, let me just make an overview. This is basically my BRT network, just the upstream part of the corridor. So for example, I should calculate the in-vehicle waiting time of the passengers. For example, in this case, imagine that I have spent 5 minutes. Then when the vehicle arrives in this station, they have spent 10 minutes until the passengers should arrive to the other station, and so on. So basically that's my question. There is another way for calculating the in-vehicle time spent by the passengers in the network. So, and I have forgotten to put another question. Is basically display the entity type created by sources through charts. So essentially, I will explain you shortly here. So this is a BRT corridor. There are approximately 24 stations, and I have assumed that in the model in advance, for example, this passenger, I have 24 type of passengers. So for example, this passenger 2 should leave the bus in this bus stop. Passenger 3 should leave the bus in the third stop, on the stop number 3. This passenger should leave the bus in bus stop number 15, and so on. For constructing this logic, I have created in advance a set of sequence tables. So for example, in the stop 1, the demand of the passenger demand should correspond to approximately these passengers. So I am explaining here that the passenger 2 should leave the bus in the bus stop 2 through the input scene 2, and so on, as I explained before. And the proportion that is created in this bus stop per type of passengers is displayed here. But my question is, how can I represent statistically through a chart the number of passengers that are being created by the source? I have been trying to put, for example, this, I don't know, perhaps this is an status pi, you will know better, but sincerely the expression that I need to create here is a little bit strange. I don't know how can you determine the number of passengers types that are being created by the source and the respective proportion. So for example, imagine that during 5 minutes of simulation, the number of passengers that have been created for passenger 4 are 25%, passenger 5 1%, passenger 10 2%, and so on. So perhaps do you know an alternative for representing graphically the creation of entities through sources with charts? So that's basically my set of questions that I have for you, my dear Edward, for this meeting. So I hope that you can view this video before, and perhaps you can tell me if you have in mind a possible solution for each one of them. If you consider that it's better to have our meeting for Monday in order that you can understand a little bit these requirements, I will be very happy for that. But if you consider that you can explain me a possible solution that I can test through this meeting, absolutely it will be fine for me. So thank you for your attention, Edward. I will see you in 45 minutes. Bye.